All good, yeah?
Let's go. Yeah, man.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Controllers and Katanas. I am Martin, aka Marty Cool, here with my co-host Ian, aka Relic. So today we have loads of juicy information regarding anime, films, gaming, and we've got a lot to get through. But just a forewarning, there will be spoilers on some of the things we discussed today. So if you don't want to listen to it, just wind that bit on or come
Yeah,
back and listen to the podcast another day.
if you've not watched Windbreaker yet in the anime section, spoilers. If you've not watched Kaiju number 8, episode 2, spoilers. If you've not watched Shogun, spoilers, mate. So if any of that, mate, there's no point watching or listening. Like there's spoilers all the way throughout.
So basically, the whole podcast of this episode is spoilers.
This
we
is
have other
probably going
stuff
to be named heavy spoilers, to be fair.
But we have other stuff to we're going to talk about as well.
Got some bits and bobs, bits and bobs.
Yeah, a few new announcements and stuff. So to kick us off, I'll pass it over to Ian.
Right, spot on. So we're going to discuss first thing anime. Obviously, as I say, big spoilers for Windbreaker. Me and Martin have watched not only the first episode, not only the second episode, but we've watched the first 3 episodes. So we're just going to episodically go through each one. Our thoughts, some things we found funny. Episode 1, for example, we'll just kick it straight off. So it starts with loads of people telling him basically that he's a loser, you're not worth anything. Essentially saying he's a bad guy because of the way he looks. He's got half black hair, half white hair. He has heterochromia, I think it's called, which means you've got 2 different colour of eyes. So he's got like a yellow eye, which is like really like, it's like a cat's eye almost, isn't it? But I'm watching the episode like jealous of him, mate, because he looks cool. Like, I don't know why people are giving him shit, mate. He looks proper cool. I was like, mate, got 2 different coloured hairs. You know, if he was back in these days, mate, he'd be like the most popular bloke around. He would. He's like, the character design's so good. So like, yeah, the intro as well. It starts off with the intro absolutely slaps on this one, mate. It's it's so good, isn't it? The intro is.
Yeah.
It's another like classic. I noticed they're doing a lot more like Japanese and like Rocky type intros on a lot of these animes now, and it's so cool. But
I was going to say, like,
yeah,
it literally starts off with him just battering people, basically, and that's how the start of the episode. It all starts out with him just beating these guys to a pulp. But I'll let you carry on here because I've
literally, it's the first thing I noticed was that fight scene. So he starts kicking the crap out of some dudes. Basically, this woman says thank you, and he's like, I only did it because I don't like them. Like, why are you saying thank you? Like, it's nothing to do with you. I literally didn't like the way they were acting, so I just beat them up. Like, simple as that. But the animation on that scene as well, it was quite unique, really, because it almost looked like the background was almost like a CGI, like 3D, but obviously, like, he was animated in 2D, and it was so smooth, mate. Like, the fights was like the movements and everything were so smooth, weren't they, on that fight?
Yeah, I mean, it made me laugh that first bit where she like touches his back, and it's like thank him, and it's like it makes him jump. It's like, what are you doing, like?
Yeah, he's like dead confused that she's thanking him. Yeah, she's like, why? He's like, why is she not freaked out by me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the premise of this anime is he's essentially an outcast from where he came from. He's moved to this new school. Because he's heard essentially that it's like a delinquent school. It's supposed to be like a naughty kid school, so he thinks. And he just wants there to be fights every day. He wants to fight his way to the top of this school. And that's all he cares about. Is because he's obviously been negatively talked about his entire life. He's a little bit brought back, and he's a bit like... he's negative himself, really. He's got a bad perception of life and what people are like, and he doesn't trust anybody. And all he knows is fighting, and all he thinks about is fighting. So it already starts off like a little bit negative as a person. And as you'll notice, even through the first episode, the woman in the cafe who he saves to begin with, is really nice, and he seems the only people treating him negatively is literally just the bad guys because they are bad guys. That's it. But yeah, the fights are very entertaining, well choreographed. Especially the other guy from the school rolls up. There's like some other guys that turn up at the end, like near the end, and they're like, we heard there was like 100 guys here. Like we've brought too many people, and there's only like 3 or 4 of them. And he's like, what? He thinks they want to fight as well, and like he gets his ankle cut, doesn't he? And he's like, they're like, you're in the way, mate. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're in the way.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when these other guys like they join in, they've all got different fighting styles. Like I mentioned earlier, they've got like wrestling, haven't they? Some are just
that's it.
Booting them and like dodging out the way. But then it's the reaction of the locals, obviously, because this gang is there to protect the town. They're the windbreaker, the guardians, and as a windbreaker does, it protects. And they're protecting the locals, and the locals' reaction, obviously, they love these students for the whole bit they do.
They're just policing the area, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
But there's one of the parts as well. So they're policing the community, and they essentially just go around and they do fight all the time. But they're just battering criminals essentially, and obviously crime's a lot lower because everyone fears them. And like you say, they've all got different fighting styles. They're all slightly unique. I love the character design in this as well. Even like the school uniform, it's like a little bit jazzy to like the typical type uniforms that are drawn in sort of like anime and stuff. But yeah, right at the end as well, where the guys are like, look, because obviously they recognise he's wearing the same uniform and he's joining the school and that sort of thing. And they're basically saying, like, talking about being a hero sort of thing. And he's like, I could play. He jumps like 20 feet in the air and he's like, playing the hero? If all you got to do is win a fight, then I'm in! And then just kicks this guy clean in the face.
Yeah, I love it, mate. I love it. Oh, mate. Yeah. I've got a massive... by the way, I've got a massive notebook of notes here. I couldn't be asked to put them on my computer, so I'll just add this from notebook. I was just looking for
because we was a little bit late, we watched the first episode. Well, I watched the first episode in dubbed. I don't know if you watched it dubbed, Martin. I'm not sure. But
I watched all subtitled. Yeah,
so I watched the first one in dubbed, and the rest of them were in subtitled. And the voice acting in dub was absolute spot on. It was very good, very clean, and enjoyable. Which you get to see a lot more nowadays. Anyway, a lot of dub are a lot better in terms of voice acting. Yeah. But obviously the other couple of episodes. We did watch in subtitles. I don't know when the dubs are coming out, but yeah. What about episode 2, Mark? What are your thoughts on that one, mate? I know you've got plenty of notes, mate. Plenty of notes. I can kick it off while you find it if you want.
Yeah, I just find it funny that at the start of the episode, he's acting like a donkey and he's carrying some old dude into the cafe.
No, it's that old granny or something, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then she gets off. She gets off, and her hips are fine. She like makes out she's got bad hips. Hips are fine, and obviously he's like really upset. But then obviously they're really thankful, aren't they? Like I said, the locals are really thankful for the for the help that these students provide. But yeah, you carry on.
Yeah, I've wrote down this. Funnily enough, I wrote down the same thing. Like, Sakura is already getting into being a good citizen, just carrying grannies on his back. The coffee shop woman as well. There's like a part where this new guy enters, who becomes sort of like his friend through this episode, and he's joining the school, but he has no fighting abilities basically. But he's like a little bit of a fighting nerd. He reminds me of a Deku a little bit in My Hero. Because he's like taking notes about people's abilities, like the height, the weight, like what, not their abilities, but like their fighting styles and that sort of stuff, like what they're wearing, what colour hair they've got. And he's a bit of like a fighting nerd almost like a bit of a journalist. And he's like, oh, you don't even know how to fight. He's judging this guy a little bit. And the coffee shop woman sort of gets him thinking, which is like another dynamic to a lot of these fighting anime are just brain dead fighting essentially, but I feel like this one's got quite a lot of layers to it, and she sort of gets him thinking a little bit, because then he starts thinking like how he's been judged his entire life, and he's almost sat here now judging other people. So he's almost sort of like acting the way he's being treated when he doesn't really like that. but everyone's so friendly in the town. They all keep giving him like free food, and he's just like there's like a scene with him. He's got loads of bags and stuff just full of bread and like loads of food. And there's like one guy as well. I noticed he comes out and he tries to give him like sake, like alcohol, and he's like, "I'm too young for that," like sort of thing. He's like, "Oh, I got like a bottle of sake."
I'd have drank that on the spot there, right there.
Yeah, straight away,
That's
mate, straight away.
I loved it.
But you
yeah,
can see that him as a character. Obviously, what he's trying to be a tough guy, but he's starting to come across quite respectful. He notices obviously the shop owners and stuff. He's being really respectful to the shop owners, and you can sort of see, you get a glimpse that deep down he's quite a good guy despite all of this like this tough guy persona sort of thing. So you sort of get to appreciate him as a character a little bit more and understand obviously that deep down he just wants to be liked, really, doesn't he? So
yeah, it's like you mentioned earlier, like he's been brought up, people saying bad things about him. He's been brought up a certain way, and then all of a sudden, all these people are liking him, giving him gifts, thanking him, and it's like taken back by it. It's like, what's going on here?
yeah.
But all that like the fresh bread they were given and all the meat being offered, mate. Oh,
yeah. The way that was drawn made me hungry, mate. Like, I was like, do you know what? I'm so hungry.
even in the cafe when he drops this old granny off from to the cafe, this woman offers her that egg sandwich, just like
got like an egg sandwich. I'm like, that looks decent. Like, it's a thick omelette thing, isn't it? Like in a sandwich.
It soon shuts him up from being mad, doesn't it?
Yeah. The only thing that let this episode down a little bit for me was there's like a part in an alleyway. And I thought there was going to be like a dead sick fight, but he just skips to the end of the fight, so you don't actually see any of the action. That's a little disappointed me a little bit, but I weren't too fussed because you do get a lot more in terms of story in this episode. So yeah, as I say, they're all basically fight crime. People in the town love them. This made me laugh as well. The town's like super clean. They're policing the town, but their school is just like a derelict building that's got graffiti everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Is it like knee range to the guy you're on about the guy writes down all the
his mate.
I just find him funny, like how clumsy he is. Like as soon as he enters, he trips through the door, poof, lands on the floor
straight away.
It's got new clothes with tags on the back still. They ain't taken off. And like when he leaves, he hits his on the wall as well, which is
it was like, mate, you've still got your tags on. Come here.
Yeah,
because that scene as well, like they walk into the classroom and he walks in like, right, who wants to fight then, sort of thing. Like, I'm going to beat anyone up. And there's that guy with like the earrings, isn't he? And the eye patch.
CEO-san. Is it CEO-san, I think?
And he's like, yeah, I've got a Chinese spirit trapped in my eye or something like Chinese shit. And he's like, yeah, they call me Leonardo DiCaprio.
Even else like, what? What's going on?
So yeah, they call me Leonardo DiCaprio. And he's just like assumes it's going to be like full scrapping all the time, but like everyone's like just dead nice to him. As soon as he comes in, everyone's like really welcoming. There's like a guy in the background doing like pull-ups and stuff. Like they're all just like dead nice, and like he's like, right, I want the top spot. I'm gonna do it. I'm only here because I want the top spot. And then that table just comes flying past him. That guy just punches the table clean it off.
I like the bit.
Random.
I like the bit as well. Like just before they go to the classroom, that Niwa guy's like, "Listen, like you need to be careful about your attitude and stuff because you're an outsider, and all the school's gonna hate you." And obviously, he's with him, so
yeah. He's like, if they hate you, they're gonna hate me. Yeah,
yeah. And then when it gets to class, obviously people are like, "Oh, you're using that scrap the other day," and obviously all the town love you for it. So then they kind of instantly like him, don't they? So yeah.
But overall, the episode was, as I say, I was a little bit disappointed about the fight, but it was really balanced. It just proves that it's not just going to be like a mindless brawler, which don't get me wrong, I do like some of those ones. It's got a lot of dynamic to him as a character from this episode. There's a lot more about the story. You sort of understand the town a bit better, what the school is actually all about. I have no idea where any teachers are. I must admit, I don't even know. I don't think it's even a proper school. That must just be like some headquarters for them or something.
Yeah, it definitely took me by surprise when I saw it. I've got so much notes here.
Yeah, so episode 3 starts off. We get a bit of a backstory of that turn. Is it Sugishita or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
A nice little back and forth fighting with Sakura as well, and just giving him some stick. And then he does this like proper sick like backflip kick, and then like nose starts bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, his nose starts bleeding, and then the tannoid starts blaring, and that's obviously like the top dog talking, in it. But the top dog, he seems like just harmless, and he's like dead dopey on the tannoid, and like he comes across dead friendly. He's giving everyone a pep talk, basically like, "Oh, we've got to basically protect the town, blah blah blah, this and that." And you just start to learn basically that the school isn't all about fighting to the top. It's essentially just a child labour security service, and essentially, yeah, they just go out patrolling, and yeah, in a way, they all need to just protect the town. There's no teachers at all. At least on episode 3, by this point, you don't see any teachers. It's the top dog. He's just running it through the town or telling people what to do.
Yeah, the leader of the group that goes out, obviously they start seeing old granddad like going up a ladder, don't they? And like it's wobbling.
Yeah.
So they offered to help do the painting for the graffiti on this building wall, and then the leader of that group, he says like, because the main guy's saying, "Oh, this is like boring, this is boring," but then the main leader guy goes, "There's more fun in life than battering people." Helping people, you can get so much joy from it and stuff like that. Which is
it's like another life lesson, isn't it? Like, look, you can't you've got to go around and you got to think about other people, not just yourself, essentially. But yeah, obviously, when the tannoid's blaring out, everyone's like, look, you can't be like feuding with each other. So they make Sakura and Sugishita shake hands after all of like the scrapping and stuff, and obviously you almost start. He almost starts feeling like happy. Like he shakes this guy's hand and he's like, "Do you know what? I think I belong here." Like, and he starts to slightly change, doesn't he? His like demeanor starts to slightly change, and he's like, "I actually think I'm getting some friends now." But yeah, it's basically just a headquarters for like the patrolling the place. Also, the subtitle voice at first, I wasn't on the episode 2 when I watched it. I was like, I'm not too sure about the sub voice on it. But then when I watched episode 3, I was like, for some reason, it seems loads different. Like, I actually quite enjoyed it. Like, the Sakura's sub voice, it grown on me this episode.
Yeah, I found the bit as well with the handshake. It was like, obviously, because it was forced.
Yeah.
They obviously squeezing each other's hand, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they both start saying, "Is this a guy a gorilla or something?"
Yeah. It's like one of them classic things,
like,
people like the macho thing where they try and start pulling each other's hands at each other. Like, I'm stronger than you, mate.
Yeah, get here.
You start learning about territories as well in this one, don't you? So there's like,
that's right.
There's that part where there's 3 members of a rival gang and they're running after this guy in an alley. And Sakura and Sugishita just kick one of them in the head, and his mates start ripping him. Yeah, his mate starts ripping him, don't they? They're like, "I can't believe you've gone down with one kick. Oh, what are you doing, mate?"
Yeah, straight on him, aren't they? But literally, one hit just knocked him clean out, didn't it?
Yeah, and then this is where like I'm very excited for episode 4. I must admit, mate, because the like second in command of this rival school like appears because they go onto his territory in that alleyway, don't they?
In his territorial as well.
Yeah, and he seems like an absolute psychopath. He just smashes that bottle clean over the back of like his own schoolmate's like head.
Yeah.
And takes his jacket off him. So I'm pretty sure he's not even there now, mate, because he walks off with his jacket as well.
Yeah, and he grabs the guy's head, doesn't he, and like starts punching him, and obviously the screen goes
starts beating
red,
the crap out of his own guy just because he lost. It's got like again his character design's pretty sick as well. I like how they've all got the proper like the American style like Letterman jackets and stuff like that as well. Like it just sets them apart a little bit. But obviously the leader of the obviously is it called Beauforin or something, isn't it? The school's called
Beauforin, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so obviously the guy who's taking them around, who's like their representative, he's quite high up in the rankings, isn't he? And he's like, "Look, lads, we need to like, come on, we need to get gone," sort of thing. Like he's trying to like calm the situation down, and he's like, they're like, "We need to go and see like our number one." Like we need to go back and just let him know we've been on the territory, and he's sort of like gunning for us. He wants his blood, like, basically, don't they? Like, him with the glasses on, mate, the rival gang. He's terrifying, mate. He is. He's an absolute psycho. He's going to be a menace in this. He is. He's going to be an absolute menace. You just know it. And he's second in command. He's not even number one.
And
so it makes you wonder.
It's kind of propositioned. Yeah, it's kind of propositioned Sakura to have a fight later on, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he was like, "We'll meet you in the proper environment," type thing.
Yeah,
like, they're gonna have like
got his name, and he got his name.
Yeah, he's got gunning for him, mate. Proper. The strongest member in sub has the same voice as Gojo from JJK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's the same voice actor, which is dead. It's quite funny, really, because he basically plays the same character. He plays a guy who's a bit goofy, but like one of the strongest characters with white hair. That's like Gojo from JJK, mate. It's the same person. I think that's his bread and butter, mate. He's just playing like goofy, lovable characters that are dead strong, mate.
Yeah,
but when they go and meet him, he's just on the roof, innit? He's just chilling. Yeah,
with
just
some like flowers in it and stuff.
Yeah, just growing plants and stuff.
But yeah, overall, I've really enjoyed it so far. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, the story goes and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm more fighting as well.
I'm loving it, mate. Like, this is definitely in my sort of top 3 what I'm watching at the moment. It's definitely got me excited for the next one, and overall the episode, you get a lot of setup for what's to come. You start learning a little bit more. You get more backstory. You start understanding the world a bit better. You get Sakura gets a lot more, obviously, progression as well in terms of how he's feeling and how he's understanding and how he's sort of like coming together as a character. His name's funny though, because it's Sakura Hakura. It's literally my name's Ian Fleehan, or yours like Martin Martin. It's proper funny, man.
That's a cool name. I love it.
Sakura Hakura. That's
my anime.
Martin Martin.
Yeah. That's my new anime name, mate. Call me that from now on.
But
it's been good, mate. It's been good so far.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. And I know a lot of people listen to this sort of stuff, so if you are watching and you've not actually watched it, go and watch it. It is spot on. It's definitely one of the ones that's got me excited for anime, especially with JJK season 2 finishing. It's sort of filling the void a little bit for me, in terms of that. Whilst I'm watching MHA in between it all.
I think it's released every Thursday as well. I think as well.
One a week at the moment, which is nice. It's nice for us because we get to discuss at least one anime every week.
Yeah. Keeps us going. Keeps us sticking over.
Well, actually, we get to discuss 2 animes every week because obviously we've got Kaiju episode 2 to discuss. So I don't know. Have you got my notes on this one at all?
Mate, I've got loads of notes on everything. To be honest, I've got too much notes.
But so basically,
yeah, you start me.
Yeah, in this one, I'll just kick it off with a start that made me laugh. Essentially, like, it starts straight away with like an old man at the door in the hospital. And they're trying to show him so hard that he's not like a bad character. He's like a friendly kaiju. Yeah. And he goes up to him like, "No, I'm friendly." And he's like, "Smile." He's like, "Ah," a proper stupid face. And this bloke's literally bricking his pants. And he goes up to like say, "No, I'm all right." Touches the wall, and the wall just blows up. Like, it's just a massive hole in the wall. And then he's like, "Oh no, we've got to go. They've called the defense. They've phoned the defense call. They're coming." So he's like, "I know. I'll just go through the window. It'll be easier." Goes up to the window, opens it, and rips 50 feet of the wall clean off, and then just leaps 80 meters out the window, mate. Like, yeah, that's dead inconspicuous, mate. Nice one.
Yeah, I mean, I spent most of this episode just laughing at stuff. Like,
it's so comedic.
Yeah,
it's so.
Obviously, loads of action. You've got sad scenes in it as well. But yeah, I'm loving it, mate. We've got the bit as well.
Yeah, like he's got some sick kaiju powers now, hasn't he? His new friend makes me laugh though. He's staying by his side. He's like, "No, mate, we need to get gone. Like, come on, we'll sort it out." He's like trying to help him, saying, I will like try and explain it, and so you don't get killed.
Yeah.
There's like a scene where they're walking down the street, and it reminds me of Venom. And he's like, "I can't control it." And then his like tongue just expands and like eats a bird. And he's like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, it's like
And
he needs
he's
a
like,
toilet, doesn't he? Yeah, he needs a
yeah,
toilet.
yeah.
It's like shaking. It's like the guy's like, you can't go here, you can't go
He's
here. And
like,
next week,
no,
he comes
yeah,
out his nipples. And
yeah, his mate's like, I'm not being funny, but where you normally pee from, there's nothing there. I don't know where you're gonna pee from. It just starts coming out his nipples, and he's literally floored. He's like on the floor, like in disgust, like what is happening?
yeah, it's
But
so funny.
it's proper good. So yeah, he's got like but it's funny because all that happens, and then it's instantly like the comedic parts instantly stop because he gets like this heightened ability. Then like he's almost got like a spidey sense, anti now,
Mm.
and he like notices the kaiju like underground. He senses another kaiju, which is pretty sick. And then it instantly goes into like this really sad moment where there's like this little girl, she's crying her eyes out, her mum's crushed in this like building. She's trying to like get her mum out, and it's like such an emotional like scene because you proper feel
Yeah,
for her, like the way that they've animated it and made it look. It honestly is. I was like, oh my god, like this kaiju appears. He's got these massive, ugly, googly eyes, like two noses,
but
and
his
he's
tongue's
just
coming
about,
out as well.
yeah, his
Yeah,
tongue's coming out, and like he's just about to eat this little girl, and it just comes out of nowhere, doesn't he? And just bombs him clean in his head. The cleanest, literally
yeah,
like the cleanest hook
hit.
ever.
Yeah,
Left hooks him, knocks this kaiju all the way down the street, and then he helps the little girl out, and obviously says like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm a good." And she believes him. Obviously, rescues the mum and everything. Like obviously a dead wholesome moment. Like the kid and the mum are all right.
yeah,
Kaiju
but
comes back.
it's
I'll let
that
you
bit as well.
explain this
Like,
next bit.
well, it's just that bit like obviously the kid's scared again, and then
Yeah,
they get. He's like thinking, "Oh, I'll do a smile." He does the same. It does the same
yeah. Just
evil
to say,
face, and it just freaks her out even more. But yeah, she's a cute little girl. But
yeah.
then the monster comes back, and he just one bombs, punches it,
He
and it
literally,
just
yeah.
explodes everywhere.
He literally
Such
hits
a
it
good
that
scene.
hard. It just starts raining blood because it just blows it
Yeah.
clean up. Oh, it's so good because he gets all this like lightning covering his body as well, doesn't he?
Oh
It looks
yeah.
proper cool. He's like, "What's this?" And it's just like proper like Thor, mate. It's like,
It did remind me of Deku again from
yeah, it is. It
My
is a
Hero
little
Academia.
bit Deku-ish, isn't it?
All
Um,
Might's punching it.
and the way he yelled as well. It reminded me of Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan when he's in the Titan. Like it proper sounded
Oh
like a Titan
yeah.
screamed, didn't it? It was proper good. I was like, this is sick. This
It's just good to
is.
see like he's finding out all these powers from this kaiju that
Yeah,
he's got
yeah. And
now.
obviously the little girl thanks him as well, and I think he starts thinking, oh, maybe I can start getting accepted in this form. So I think he starts thinking maybe I can use this in a good way. Obviously the problem is he's got to win over the defense corps, and then he finds out he can actually change his form because his head just appears normal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is again very quite symbiotic, like in Marvel, where like the symbiote takes over your body, and like with Venom, obviously it's absorbing the body and then goes away. And yeah, he does that, and then obviously the defense corps are looking out for him. The defense corps come. The little girl says, "Oh, but what about the good kaiju?" And she's like, "What?" Like the girl with the tiger's like, "A good kaiju?" Like proper spun out. But then they put out this like warrant for his arrest, basically, don't they? There's like a drawing on the news,
Yeah.
and he's just back. It cuts back, and he's just back at his old job cleaning up dead kaiju. And then he keeps swapping
Yeah.
his form, and his mate's like, "Stop messing around! Like we've passed the exam now. We can go on to the next stage to get into the defense corps. Like you need to stop messing around." And he swaps his form back, and you learn he can't fully control it because he's got like a human body, but he's still got this kaiju smile again. That same
Yeah.
smile.
It just reminded me like the bit with the little girl. Obviously, when the same little girl she's talking to, it's a sheer, isn't it?
Yeah, Misha, that's it. Or
his
Misha, Misha,
like
something like that, yeah. She's
childhood
childhood
friend.
friend, isn't it? Yeah.
Obviously, so things are going to progress there with them two because obviously they both want to. Well, she is like a top commander, isn't she, in this defense
Oh, yeah.
force, and he wants to become, where he wants to overpass her, doesn't he? Surpass her.
Yeah, that's been his lifelong goal is
Yeah.
to like be better than her, in like a friendly rivalry sort of way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
the part at the end as well when they get to the little examination place, and there's that like young blonde girl, and she like comes up to him and she's like, "That's my spot." 5's my lucky number. Like, move, like that's my
Yeah,
spot. And he's like,
come on.
what? No, like, no, I've parked here. There's loads of spots to choose from. No, I'm not doing it. She's like, I'll move it myself. She takes like a uniform thing off, and she's got this like proper sick suit on, and it like glows up like a red, and it basically gives her like super strength. She just picks his van up, just moves his van, and he's like, "That's the company vehicle."
It just looks like launches it into another bay. It's on its side.
That's the company vehicle. It's like constantly, there's like the perfect amount of like comedy throughout the entire episode. Like you start learning a little bit about obviously him as a character and just the comedicness of this. It's just so well written in it. Like it's very well written.
It's so funny. It's so funny. And
yeah,
the bit with the girl as well. She like smells him, doesn't she? Like you smell of it. You smell like kaiju, and it's like
kaiju.
What?
Yeah, like I think that's quite a good cover though, because his job is literally cleaning up dead kaiju. So if he continues to do that, he can like it's a cover, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm assuming kaiju give off a smell then or something. I don't know, but
a scent. Yeah.
It's I'm excited for this one as well. So we've got this one weekly as well, every week. This one's dubbed every week as well, which is an absolute dream to me. I love that.
I watched the last one in subtitles.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's still equally as good. I've really enjoyed it.
It is. They're still enjoyable either way, aren't they? That's it.
Yeah, I just find it so funny, and
it's so comedic.
The mix between like action and then comedy and so good.
I saw like a negative review on it about their animation style, like their art style of them, saying that they're quite like doughy and stuff. And I sort of understand what they mean. Like they do look a little bit soft and everything, but I think that adds to it. I think that suits the comedic side of the show, because then when he turns into his kaiju, he looks mean as anything. Like I think it counteracts it. It's almost like when he's in his human form, he looks a little bit dopey and a little bit silly and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously when he swaps, he means business type thing. So I think the opposite of whatever that person put. I literally think that is a good thing for the anime.
Yeah. But yeah, loving it, mate.
Should we talk about the big boy? Talk about the big boy this week. So Mark's been watching Shogun on Disney Plus, and in the last week I've watched all 9 episodes. So by the time this comes out, episode 10 will be out, but we'll be discussing episode 10 next podcast. Because I'm not joking, I watched the last 15 minutes of episode 9 and made notes like 2 minutes before I press play on the podcast. So like, I've got more notes than Martin has, because he's been watching it over 9 weeks. I've been watching it over 1. So like, a lot of it's fresh in my mind. So essentially, Shogun, it's set in, I don't know what period in Japan, Edo period or something like that. It's set a long time ago in Japan, where all the samurais are, and basically kicks off. There's like a council meeting. The first 2-3 episodes I'd already seen when they were released, so there's a big gap between them. So I've wrote notes down from what I can remember. So these next 3 are a little bit short. So the samurai, basically, it's Tadayoshi, I think his name is.
Taranaga, isn't it? Taranaga.
No, this is a different guy. So Tadayoshi, he kicks off a council meeting, basically, and he kicks off. He interrupts this council meeting. He basically is so. This is the first episode, literally the first episode. And I've wrote this down because I still remember it, because it was like mad to me. He's so ashamed that he's kicked off this council meeting. He's going to commit senpoku or whatever it's called. But not only is he promised to kill himself, he promises to end his bloodline, and he literally kills his baby as well. You don't see it, obviously, because that's mad. But it honestly left me speechless, mate. Like, I can't believe it. Like, obviously, I'm glad they didn't show anything happening to a baby, but just referring to that is, and that's what happened back then. Like, genuinely, like, historically correct. Like, there was that shame they do stuff like that, and that's the only note I put down. Apart from, actually, there was one other part I've just remembered, is when obviously the ship goes over, and there's literally that one crew member that gets slowly boiled alive in that giant pot.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think
And you
that's
hear
on episode 1. Oh,
you hear the
mate, that is
shout, you hear the screams
yeah,
through the night, don't you? Everyone hears them through the whole
that's
village.
mental. That is.
Yeah.
That is so mad. Episode 2. The main thing that I remember in episode 2 is the little assassin woman. So she's like bombing through these halls, just slitting
Yeah.
throats. Obviously, Toranaga, he's taken in the or Blackthorn, his name is, isn't he? Ajin or whatever, the pilot. And by this point, he's sort of like taking him in, and he's staying with him, but he suspects something, so he swaps rooms with him. So Taranaga's in Blackthorn's room, and he does like a little bit of a disguise thing, like makes it look like someone in the bed. So there's this
Like a
woman
bed, yeah.
literally going round, slitting throats, and it's just blood splattering all up the walls. Like the set looks so nice at this point as well. Like it looks so authentic. The outfits are so good. But because he's suspicious, this woman goes in to go and attack the bed, and he obviously manages to he gets a slice on her throat, doesn't he? And like cuts her throat open, and she's like that, and she just falls outside onto the garden. Just like blood everywhere. Legend he is, absolute legend.
I remember the bit in episode 1 as well. You know, when the guy is about to kill himself with his child, and his wife. I feel sorry for his wife. His wife's like,
so sorry. Like
what an idiot! What an idiot! Why would you even do that? Like,
you see him more. You see obviously more of it, don't you, throughout the show?
Yeah.
Episode 3. This was the funniest episode, in my opinion. He keeps calling that doctor a warlock. And he's like, who's this warlock? Who's this warlock? The doc's like, he doesn't need a doctor, he needs a woman. And then she asks him, like, oh, yeah, the doctor says you need a woman. He's like, no. And he's like, oh, well, would you prefer a male companion? And he just goes, dear God, where am I? It's proper good, mate. But this is my favourite thing about this entire thing was Rodriguez. He's like with the Catholics. He's like technically an enemy. But like they're escaping on these boats. And Anjin's shouting at Rodriguez. And basically Rodriguez moves his boat slightly so Blackthorn can actually get past and almost basically saves his life. And he shouts to Rodriguez, my sincerest gratitude. Rodriguez just shouts, my sincerest, go fuck yourself. Like, there's such a good little chemistry between them two. I just wish there was more of them throughout the show. Like, they secretly love each other, mate. They're going to be future best mates, them two, if they come across again.
It's just the banter, isn't it? Obviously, because he's Protestant, Rodriguez is Catholic.
Yeah,
it's just the banter between them. And they're both
constant banter, mate. Yeah, constant banter. And at the end of episode 3 made me laugh as well, because he's like, Toranaga's like, oh, I want you to teach me how to dive. And they just go swimming like they're 13-year-old on a weekend with their mates, mate. They just keep diving in the water and keep going for a swim.
Yeah, like, show me again.
Yeah, show me again. And he's literally stood there watching him. He dives about 100 times. He's shattered. He's so tired after. And he's like, do you want me to do it again? He's like, I'm so tired, man. Episode 4, one of my notes for episode 4 literally says, by this episode, you start to realise that skip intro on Disney is a lie. It literally skips to near the end of the intro, and then you have to watch the last 10 seconds of every intro every time.
It's a lie.
But I found a way around it. So if you're watching it on your phone, you can skip intro, and then you skip there's like a button that skips 10 seconds. So you press that, and then it actually does skip to the start of the episode.
Okay. But you shouldn't have to do that, should you, really?
No. I was like, this is just a lie. But that's completely irrelevant to Shogun. It's just one of the notes I made. It obviously annoyed me at the time. So they obviously get up to that village. Both the boats get there. Anjin Blackthorn recognises that main dude. Instantly tells him to go F himself, and he calls him a snivelling little shitbag. It's just like there's so many top level like English insults like in the show. I just love it. It's proper good. But everyone in that village as well. One of the main things about that village I noticed was when I started really noticing like the set design and the costume especially, because they're greeted with all those samurai. All their outfits look so good. They've all got the hats on. And yeah, I just thought to myself, like, honestly, they've gone the extra mile on this to get the historicness absolutely bang on. There's a little
So
earthquake
well
in that
designed,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah, so well designed. There's a little earthquake in that one. Obviously, it references the tsunami, or like tsunamis in general, should I say, which obviously everyone knows a big thing in Japan. So again, even back then, they know about all this stuff. Like it's devastating. A lot of this stuff is for obviously the Japanese in terms of like their weather conditions and stuff aren't that different, but they do get the part of the world they're in. They get a lot of stuff like that, don't they? Like tsunamis and earthquakes. Blackthorn, being English and only in his early 30s, who's from London, has obviously never witnessed an earthquake, instantly starts crapping himself.
You would do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. By this point, you sort of get an idea of Mariko, and she's definitely falling in love with Angine at this point. Proper yearning for the Western salami is the wording I used on my notes. And boy, this episode, does she get it? Sheesh. So basically, it ends with there's a lot of cannons in this one, isn't there? So there's a lot of showing them the cannons, and then there's a couple of people from Osaka that come, messengers from Osaka that come, and they stay and they start talking to them, and it literally ends with the cannons ripping them clean in half. Like Toranaga's son is basically sort of this little like thing out where he's I say betraying them, but essentially the Osaka, that is their enemies, really, aren't they? They're trying to get Toranaga to surrender. They want his spot on the council. They don't want him to do with it because they need his vote for anything that passes. And obviously, they're trying to take him back. And his son's just like an absolute hero in this. And he's just literally, I'm not even joking, there's literally body parts everywhere, isn't there? Like arms off, guts spilling out everywhere, bodies getting clean cut in half. It's so graphic.
It's my favourite part through the whole season. But like before that, obviously, Blackthorn's been put in charge of the cannon, showing the cannons off to their army.
I think is it this point where he's been given the role of Hatamoto.
I think it's after. Is it that or is it after that?
I can't fully remember.
But he's given this, well, I'll say honor, the job of showing the cannon fire to all the men of Toranaga's army, and then obviously
that's his
son,
thing. So
yeah.
So throughout it, he's basically Toranaga wants him to teach them how to fight in the Western way. But as you quickly learn, Blackthorn is useless. Like he's proper crap at like literally everything. Like he's probably the worst Englishman they could have got hold of. However, he's very good with boats and cannons. Like he knows how to properly set a cannon up, to properly aim it. So that's how he sort of like gets his shoe in the door type thing. He gets his foot in the door by saying, look, I can teach you how to shoot cannons, because their experience with cannons has always been negative because they've never been able to make them accurate or anything like that. And he's got these targets, and essentially that's his way in with them. He starts teaching them about the cannons, and that's how he starts to gain a little bit of the respect from Toranaga and some of the other guys. Obviously through that.
I like through the season as well. Like Toranaga's like giving him all these like jobs and stuff, and it's like, oh, show me your ways of war. It's like, I've never actually been in a battle.
Yeah, like to be fair to him, he's rubbish, but he's told him like multiple times, until like, what? I don't know anything, mate. Like,
I was like giving all his honours and stuff. It's like, mate, I literally told you before, and I'll tell you again.
I've literally told you,
experience.
I'm just a sailor, mate. Like I just steer a boat. Like I don't know what you're on about. Like I'm not a warrior or like in the army or anything. But episode 5 is dead funny because it instantly starts, doesn't it? It instantly starts with more guts, because essentially they're cleaning up the aftermath of that last episode, and there's these two locals that are just not happy about it. Like it's dead funny because they're complaining about it like you would nowadays. Like, I can't believe this. Like we've got to do this, and they're just chucking arms and like legs and stuff onto this cart, loads of body parts and stuff.
Yeah. That lifted like whole torsos, just putting them on this cart, whinging about it, like as you would do, wouldn't you?
So Toranaga has been away. He rolls up on this one with the sickest army going, mate. It's got archers. It's got a lot. But then Mariko is absolutely gutted in this one, isn't she? Because her husband is still alive. Because in one of I think it was episode 3, he's fighting off all these like warriors at the end at this port to let them get free. And he's like, he does this like little bow and everything. It's like proper respectful. And he's proper kicking ass. And it turns out he's survived. And she's not happy about it, mate. Like at all, is she? Because obviously she wanted old Blackthorn, she did. But in honesty, he's a beast if he survived all that, mate. He's an absolute legend, isn't he?
I did like that scene. It's literally like running down to the docks, like literally killing loads of people.
Oh, it's so good, mate. I don't know why I didn't make a note of it.
He shouts to him, doesn't he? And he like bows to him because he knows it's his time up. Or whatever.
He thinks
it's like an honor to serve him.
For me, yeah. He's like, this is it for me.
And then Mariko gets the salami, and then next episode, her husband comes back.
She's only used to that Japanese party sausage, mate, isn't she? She wants the full Western salami, mate. She does.
But yeah,
basically,
they're
cancelling the Saka. They're obviously talking about random stuff. But there's that guy who's got leprosy, mate. He literally looks like Jason Voorhees without a mask. He's like the ugliest person I've ever seen in my entire life, mate. He looks worse than Sloth from Goonies, mate. Like he's proper deformed, isn't he?
I mean, when Sloth from Goonies is better looking than you know,
there's something wrong, isn't it? Yeah. So at this point, I think he's been given Hatamoto, and he's been given like his own residence and stuff, hasn't he? And I think that's where you see that woman again, isn't it? Whose husband,
she's like
whatever, and her kid, sacrificed themselves, didn't they? And it was it was her, yeah.
Yeah, she's in charge of looking after Blackthorn's house.
Estate,
estate, yeah.
She's like the head woman of the house, so to speak, sort of thing.
Because she's like, she's not happy about when she gets given the job, but then she's reminded that everyone's got their kind of place and their job. And,
their duties to serve their lord.
Yeah. And she takes the job on pretty well, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think she starts warming to him a little bit. She gives him her husband's sword because she's like basically saying like, you can't be the man of the house type thing if you don't have a sword sort of thing. So she gifts him this sword. I think he gives her a gun randomly. She's like, okay, thanks, mate. Like, what do I do with this? Like, it's a gun, mate. But basically, obviously, Mariko, her name's too close to Mario, mate. She's also been situated in the same house as him because obviously she's his translator because she knows English. And obviously, because the husband comes back, he's very annoyed that he's also been put up in the same house. So essentially, he's not got his own estate. He's under the roof of somebody else, essentially. So Blackthorn's essentially in charge of the house, but he's been housed with Blackthorn, calling him a barbarian, just putting utter disrespect on his name. But little does he know about his wife, mate. Do you know what I mean? But them two old dudes as well, they make me laugh. They're always just complaining. They're complaining about cleaning up the body parts, and they're complaining about that pheasant hanging up.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, things were way better in Korea when all we had was silkworms to eat." Like, just classic old men complaining like the war was better when we was in the war. But one of the biggest things about this episode was the garden scenes, mate. It proper made me respect a Japanese garden. And at my house, on my garden, there's like a little plot that's doing nothing, like a little bit. And I've persuaded my wife to let me turn it into like a little Japanese garden, mate. So I'm going to be working on that soon. Like, I'm just going to get loads of pictures for reference from basically from Shogun. Just get like some gravel and like some little boulders and like make it look nice. You know, where they make the circles around it and stuff like that. Oh,
yeah. Like, I've been to Japan. I've been to Japan like 4 times now, and just the temple gardens and stuff like that. It's a must see. It's a must see. Like, I recommend it.
I'll make it one day, mate. Make it there one day. Do it, yeah. Got to. But then it's dinner, and Blackthorn and Toad are basically just insulting each other. But they're insulting each other in their own languages, so they can't even understand each other. They don't know what each other are saying. And Blackthorn just throws this food away, doesn't he? Pours this massive bowl full of sake and is like, absolute Chad just downs the whole thing. And he's like, yeah, only women drink from small cups where I'm from, to like Toda. And Toda's like, what are you on about, mate? And they both just get absolutely obliterated. Just a drinking contest.
It turns sour, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very sour, very quick. So Toda basically, I think his name's Toda, forces Mariko to talk about her tragic heritage. You find out a lot about who her dad was, who was an assassin, and basically all of her relatives have been not assassinated, but like punished, and they're punishable by death. Yeah, kill them. They basically had to kill themselves, essentially. Oh no, actually, no, I'm wrong. He was forced to kill his wife and his kids before he killed himself. That was like his punishment. But because Mariko had gone off to get married, she was part of a different, like, sort of like lordship sort of thing or whatever. So she didn't count in it all. So she almost got away, but she's reminded by it all the time, basically. I can't remember what her name is. Is it? It's not Tado, is it? It's Buntaro, isn't it? Taro, that's his name.
Buntaro.
Buntaro. I've been saying his name wrong the entire time. So it turns very sour because she's obviously really upset. Blackthorn's like, you don't have to talk about it. Trust me, mate. You don't have to. And then Blackthorn's then woken up in the night, and Buntaro's essentially just battered her, like proper wife beating her. And there's like a little scene where he's like stumbling out because he's so drunk, and then Blackthorn's got his gun like threatening to shoot him. Luckily, it obviously dies down, and that doesn't happen, and he just blames the sake like a proper classic UK chav. No, it was a drink, wasn't it, mate? I was battered with missus and that.
It was the white lightning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's literally the Japanese Stella Artois, mate, wasn't it? Wife beater drink.
He just didn't have the vest on. He had a wife beater vest.
Yeah, so he's obviously still drunk. Apologises for drunk beating his wife, and then they just go to bed. Like, it's just dead random. Yeah. Come morning, still kicking off about the smell of that pheasant that he's got hanging in the courtyard, and then apparently the villagers have been like gossiping about the smell of this pheasant, saying it's a tatarigami or whatever they're called. Which is in Japanese mythology is like a powerful, a group of powerful spirits which bring death and destruction and like famine and plague and all that sort of good stuff. So basically, it must smell that bad. And there's like 2 arrows in the post because they had like a contest like when there was drunk, telling him to shoot 2 arrows. To be fair, there was like I missed that. There was a sick slow motion scene where he's shooting this arrow, and Mariko's just dead still, and this arrow just slowly goes past her nose.
Yeah, that's
and then he wakes up in the morning, because they say like, you've got to hit them 2 posts, and he go through the door, and he's like, yeah, whatever, you didn't even do it. And then when he wakes up in the morning, he looks, and he actually did go into the post. But the problem is, they've got this dead pheasant that's been hanging for about 2 weeks. They've got 2 arrows just stuck in the wall, so everyone thinks it's like an absolute madhouse there. It's just like demons and spirits living there, mate.
Yeah.
The negative part of this episode, there's a cool gardener in it who's always just kicking off and that. He actually got rid of he got rid of the pheasant. And because he got rid of the pheasant, and Blackthorn, he said, oh, don't touch it, don't get rid of the pheasant. They had him killed, mate. Like, they killed him off because he moved the pheasant and he was told not to. And Blackthorn was fuming, mate. He was, wasn't he? Honestly, he was absolutely fuming, mate. And a lot happens this episode, mate.
To be honest, I was upset about that. I was like,
yeah, I was like,
cool gardener.
I literally sent you a picture, didn't I? There was like one scene where they're talking and he's just in the background bent over in this bush staring at them.
Yeah, the pervert, isn't he?
Made me laugh. I was like, what's he lurking for in the back there?
It might be a pervert, but he was a cool gardener. So
yeah, he was cool, mate. He was cool.
I reckon he probably got killed off.
Yeah,
I reckon he probably got killed off for like perving through a window or something. That's what I've
Yeah, that's it. They're trying to cover it up, aren't they? So on this one, there's a massive earthquake hits. It smashes up the hills and the mountain that's nearby, and essentially there's a massive landslide, and it essentially wipes out a good amount of the town, doesn't it? kills loads of
Yeah.
people. It nearly gets Toranaga, but Blackthorn actually saves him. And in obviously the earthquake and the loss, Toranaga's lost his swords. So like Blackthorn, like as a sign of respect, gives Toranaga his swords. And then obviously, like I say, it just overlooks. You got this massive shot of like the valley, and just all of the houses are just getting like proper overrun.
And
Just
all his army
absolutely
as well.
demolished.
All
Yeah.
Taranaga's army have been just gone, mate.
Just
Gone
yeah,
with
like
this
most of them are
earthquake.
just dead. It's just honestly, it's devastating, really devastating. Move on to episode 6. He gives Blackthorn Chief Admiral of Kanto, and in my head, I instantly wrote down Kanto. How's he made him Chief of the Kanto region from Pokemon? That's literally what I put down, mate.
Got to catch them all, ain't you?
I was like, what am I watching here? Am I watching a Pokemon movie or something, mate?
That Pikachu pops up.
They basically pay for him to go to a brothel. Mariko gets dead jealous. And then when he's leaving, all the blokes are dead jealous as well. Like, oh, why has he got to spend all that time in there? And then the only other part I've put is Ishido met them guys trying to leave Osaka and then just butchered all of them. Like, he just butchered all these guys trying to leave Osaka. So Ishido's basically got Osaka on lockdown, and he's like an absolute proper corrupt warlord type, shogun-y type character. He's technically in charge, but he's just a nasty bloke. He's like a really bad character.
Yeah, it's like head of the council, isn't he, as well? So
yeah, that's it. He just wants all the power for himself, essentially.
Because I think you find out later he comes from like he ain't got really much of a background, so
no,
all the power he can get, he'll just grab it and
he's just trying his hardest, to try and
evil ways
to put himself forward.
Yeah.
Episode 7, Toranaga meets his brother in the forest. He's got a massive penis helmet. That's what I've put. He's got this helmet. It looks dead stupid, mate. Like, I've loved all the character design, all the costumes, but this bloke's helmet's something rotten, mate. It does look like a phallic penis, mate, straight on his head.
It's funny because it's quite like arrogant as well, isn't he? But he's got this like penis on his head, so it's like
so like
come on, man.
Basically, his brothers essentially betrayed him. His brother wants to. I've put his brothers betrayed him so he can sit on the boring council with a boring samurai doing boring stuff. But there's just loads of people just dead mardy in this episode. Just people being dead mardy. Blackthorn gets embarrassed because he's crap at everything. He tries to have a little mini scrap, doesn't he, with a sword, and he just gets battered.
It's the way his brother, like, because they're having a meal, aren't they? And it's the way his brother kind of like he tries to embarrass Toranaga, and then he comes out saying, "Yeah, I've took the final seat, your seat on the council."
Yeah, that's it.
Which leads to obviously he's betrayed him, and
he invites him in. He's like, "Look, I'll let you stay. I'll give you my answer. Yeah, I'll give you my answer in the morning." He was basically trying to speak to his brother and hoping his brother would give him a bit of alliance and help him out, and obviously in his quest of taking over or sort of like rebelling. But obviously his brother's just an absolute arsehole.
He's got a penis helmet as well.
I wrote down crimson fucking horse shit. That's one of the words I wrote down. Because you got Blackthorn's fuming, isn't he? He just shouts that randomly. Then there's a prostitute that's with Toranaga's brother, and he loves it rough basically, and he's a little bit of a freak, isn't he? Like
that's that asphyxiation, doesn't he? That's
he loves a bit of dominatrix type thing in modern day would be. Yeah, and she's like, I can get something. He's like strangling, isn't he? He's been strangled. Sorry, isn't he? Sorry.
Yeah.
And she's basically says like, I've got something. Something I could recommend, some other tools. And then his nephew, Toranaga's son, just comes in and starts swinging his sword, and there's like a full-on fight in the brothel. Now this is the best bit of the entire show.
It's the son, isn't it? His son. Yeah.
It's Toranaga's son, isn't it? Yeah. Toranaga's son. So it's obviously it's the guy's nephew. It's Toranaga's brother's nephew. They're having this fight, mate. and he comes out to this fish pond. And he slips on this rock, so he's trying to be like dead heroic. He's killed all these people with that cannon, like to try and help his dad out. He's proper eager for battle. He's trying to prove himself. He thinks, I'm just going to kill him as well. He slips on this rock, smacks his head on it, and then just dies. It's like his eyes are like crossed on the floor and like different directions. There's just blood pouring out.
You shouldn't laugh really, but it was so funny.
It's just the way it happened is just really funny though, and it's just it's realistically. Yes. I was laughing my head off. I sent Martin a clip of it, literally laughing, but at the same time, it's quite heartbreaking because you felt for him as Toranaga's son, to be fair, because he's trying so hard to just get his dad's approval, essentially, isn't he? That's just all he's trying to do. He wants to prove himself and he wants to be better. And
it's one bit during the meal as well. One bit during the meal as well. He's obviously he's eager for battle, and because of all the legends, the experiences from the other warriors, and he's like, "Oh, I really want to go to battle," and then Toranaga's like, "No, you don't want to go to battle. It's like it's one of the worst things ever, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like war's terrible, mate. Yeah,
yeah. It's like, son, you don't like people die. Like, you're better off without war."
But yeah, then he ends up with a rock in the back of his head. So, but he had so much potential. But
he did, yeah. He was a good character. He had a good heart. He was loyal. But you soon learn as well that everything Toranaga does, he always say like he always mentions the realm, i.e., obviously the country of Japan. So you know for a fact his heart isn't just about him being a leader. He wants the country to flourish. And obviously that to me speaks volumes in terms of what a leader should be. Whereas obviously Ishido is just all about greed and he's just selfish. Episode 8, my note. Firstly, who's been cutting his hair? Like he's got his hair's consistently trimmed. I want to know what barber he's hitting up, mate, because he's got a trim.
It's got a samurai barber, hasn't he, with his katana?
Yeah, it must be. Got a little. Yeah, what they call Todos also, the little mini swords.
Yeah.
Again, the set and costumes feel so authentic. Every time you're watching it, if you're into Japan and Japanese history or history in general, it's so good, mate. Like the set is it's not even filmed in Japan. That's what gets me. It's filmed in like Canada. But like the set, look, they've made it so good, haven't they? Like they've made it look so authentic.
Yeah, you get the feel like you're there. You know what I mean? It's like literally, it's that good, that beautiful. The scenery is that gorgeous. Like you just imagine that you're there in Japan at that time.
Yeah, at this part they've travelled down to Edo. There's a part in Edo where you can see like a pot building in the background with like scaffolding and stuff. I don't know if it is, but it looks almost like Edo Castle. Like it's not been built yet. It looks like they're building Edo Castle in the background at that sort of period in time, which I thought was a nice little touch, just to add something sort of like in the background and a little bit different. At this point, Mariko's husband, you think, oh, he's trying to be dead romantic. I'm going to make you tea. We'll have a really nice tea, because over there, I don't know what it's like modern day, but back in those times, making a tea was like almost like an art form in a sense. Like the way that they did everything, it was like quite methodic, and there was like I said, it's almost like an art form to it, wasn't there? Like it's quite a respectful thing.
In Japan, you can actually get like training in like proper tea serving,
tea house style
in a
thing,
certain like tea party kind of.
So basically, you think, oh, he's been really romantic, and then he basically asks her to die that day with him. Was it Valentine's Day, mate? Like dead romantic. So yeah, I've beat you up. I've been dead horrible to you. I'm finally being nice, but it's only because I want us both to die.
After this cup of tea, how about we put a knife in each other?
We'll have a lovely cuppa. We've got a nice Yorkshire tea brewing.
In a warmth, and then we'll have a biscuit. We'll have a tea and biscuits. Then we'll.
You think, this is like it's actually quite a nice little moment in it to watch. Like he's like preparing all this tea and all this stuff. And it's like, shall we die today? Like what?
Yeah, it's like after he beat his wife, you're like, because with is it Batoro, his name?
Yeah, Taro.
He's killing all those blokes. He survives the dock fight. He comes back, and you think, oh, he's a cool guy. Then he batters his wife, and you're like, no, it's crap. Then he makes his tea for her, and it's like, oh, he's trying to work his way back in. Next minute, should we kill each other?
Yeah,
What do
should
you
we
reckon?
just die?
Let's die our way rather than going through this with Toranaga going through all this drama. Yeah.
And this note made me laugh as well. I've just read. Finally, Blackthorn does something. So basically, in Edo, he finds out his old crew's there, and he goes to find them, and he's like still wearing this sort of authentic Japanese outfit. And this bloke's essentially like, "Oh, look, they need to go. Like, they've been drinking all the sake, mate. They're having all of it all the time. Like, we need them gone."
Yeah.
And one of his crewmates comes out, and to be honest, his crewmate's an absolute arsehole. Like, he's dead horrible to this woman. He's obviously drunk dead bad, and he's like starts being horrible to like Blackthorn, and Blackthorn just batters him, absolutely batters him, and then just walks off.
Yeah, it's like take that dress off, and it's like, nah, mate, bang, decks him. Yeah, it's yeah, like I say, it's a horrible blokes. His crew members.
Yeah, his crew members honestly like. Because he just thinks they're all like savages and stuff, doesn't he? Essentially, the Japanese. Yeah. So like, he's just horrible himself. I felt really bad. Like, there's a proper like emotional part of this where Toranaga's mate is like that older guy, the older fella. Yeah, he's trying to plead with him, isn't he? Like, he's really trying hard, like, to plead with him. Like, look, come on, just turn yourself in. We need to go back to Osaka. We need to do it because obviously he don't want him to die, and he's obviously he is. In his mind, he's got his best interests at heart, and he's like, "Look, please just do it. Like, we need you to."
Because it's like Toranaga's been. It's like defeated. He gets ill when he's like defeated, isn't he?
Yeah.
And well, that's why he comes across, and then his mate's like, "Listen, all your like warriors are here. There must be something more, or whatever." And then
he's like, "No, look, come on.
Yeah.
You're dying, mate. Basically, like."
Yeah.
He's like, don't give up. That was it. Sorry. Yeah. He's like, don't give up, innit? Don't give up. And he, seppuku, mate, done. And then gets his head clean chopped off.
I was like, this bit for me, mate, I was just like, oh, no. Like, cause
he's even like tearing up, innit, when he's like talking about it and stuff. And it's like, oh, mate.
With shows, I like, I don't like, I like the main characters, but I always like other characters. Like, not like, essentially the main characters, but a bit like side characters. But I always have like in every show I watch.
Yeah, supporting
side character I like.
Roles.
Yeah, and this guy, this old dude, legend mate, it was this guy in this show, and then he ends up obviously committing seppuku, and his son Bataro chops the final blow, chops his head off here, and it rolls in front of him. Toranaga, his best mate, dead.
Yeah, Toranaga's got about it, to be fair, as well, isn't it? Obviously, at this point, they've essentially sent for Toranaga or Toragama. I can't remember his name already. I forgot it. But essentially, they've sent for him. But as like a sign of respect, his son unknowingly dying has really done him a favour, because you get like a certain period of like mourning, which is like something crazy, like 40 something days or something. So he doesn't have to do anything for like 40 something days. And then it just ends essentially. Oh, they're all getting drunk and talking about his son, and he's like, "Oh, he's a fool, blah blah blah, this, and this." And a lot of people are like, "No, he actually had quite a good heart." You sort of respect some of the people for what they do have some nice things to say about him. And then he essentially gets cremated, and then he then thanks his son for buying him some time. He's like, "Oh, like on his like death, he's like literally being burnt like." He's like, "Cheers, mate."
Yeah, because in this time, obviously, this whole display, what Toranaga's doing, is obviously it's a ruse in it. It's making out he's defeated. It's making out he's weak. But in the background, he's preparing his next move.
It's plotting. Yeah. And to be fair, at this point, you don't even really know, do you? You know something's happening.
Well, when his best mate dies, the old dude, when he kills himself, you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Obviously, Toranaga's got this plan in the back of his head.
Yeah, you know something's building up because of some of the like mannerisms and stuff. But again, at this point, you're still like, what's going to happen? Like, what's happening, sort of thing.
Great.
Episode 9. Still want to know where he's getting his hair trims, mate. Still want to know where that hair's being trimmed, mate.
To be fair, though, his hair is terrible, isn't it? I mean,
yeah. It's just the same length, though. It's just a standard hairdo, isn't it?
It's like someone's got a bowl and just cut, or just.
It must be what they're doing.
Just...
Yeah, they've just got like a knife, haven't they? Just cut it down to like an inch, longer or something.
It's like a caveman haircut, isn't it?
Yeah, you got that.
Random.
I've not written his name down. I can't remember it because it's one of them characters I don't like. But he's throughout. He's there all the time, and he's one of them characters where you're not sure if he's. One minute you think, oh, he's actually trying to help Toragano out, and then next minute you're like, oh, he's trying to go against him, and even he questions him in an earlier episode, doesn't he? I can't remember his bloody name, but essentially at this point, Blackthorn's with him, and he's like trying to sell Blackthorn like a dog, saying like he's well trained and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, he's well trained, he's good, blah blah. And at this point, he's obviously Blackthorn's learning a little bit of Japanese, not much, but he's learned enough to have a little bit of a conversation with certain people. One of the notes I wrote on this episode: I hate Ishido. That's literally all I've put, and just about anyone involved with him. To be fair,
because sorry.
No,
so Blackthorn goes with him. This I can't remember his name. The snaky dude, and he does stuff for himself. He goes to see Ishido, doesn't he? At Osaka, is it? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Osaka. Yeah.
Yes, and he's trying to sell him to.
Yeah, he's trying to like bargain with him, basically trying to save his own life by giving Ishido Blackthorn, like saying you have the barbarian, like blah blah blah. He's basically trying to say, here you go, here's a gift, can I join you, type thing. That's what I got from it, sort of thing.
Yeah, he's in it for himself. Like, you don't know where his loyalties lie. It's other characters. Like in Game of Thrones, you got like Littlefinger, which is the same guy, just. He's in it for himself.
Easily hateable characters, aren't they? Like easily hateable characters.
Good characters, but just
they're good characters to have for story and stuff. But no one likes them. Like respectively, like no one likes them.
You'd never trust them if they're your mate or whatever. Yeah.
No, like when there's a good actor involved because they make it believable as well. Like, but this episode as well, Mariko, she's easily becoming one of the best characters in this show. Easily one of the best characters in this show. Essentially, this episode, she's taking absolutely no crap from anyone, and I'm all for it at this point, mate. I'm pretty sure as well. I'm ordering my own kimono when I next get paid, mate. 100%. I want to look cool like all them do, mate. 100% buying a kimono.
Book you around the house, like.
Yeah, but she's trying to leave Osaka, and they're like, "No, you're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed." She's like, no, it's my lord's wishes. My lord wants me to come back. Obviously, that's Toranaga. My lord wants me to come back. I've got to escort my lord back. I've got to come back to Osaka with my lord. And they're like, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And he basically, I can't remember the wording he uses, but he essentially says, no, you're not doing it.
Basically, it basically tells her to sit down. And there's that powerful scene with her literally saying, you won't tell me what to do. I'm from like a powerful lineage of warriors. So. Which
he is not, which is a sort of like a smack back at him because, like you said earlier, he's got no lineage at all. He comes from nowhere, like no one.
Yeah.
Where she genuinely does. She has like such a rich background. I appreciated her dad was an assassin, but what he was doing at the time was essentially for the right reasons in a way. It's just obviously it's very disrespectful in Japan to just go around killing him like lords and stuff, innit? Which is any other country, but yeah. But obviously it gets to that point where she's like she's like, no, I'm leaving, and it gets to the part where she is leaving and she's got a few like warriors with her, and it pans out and it's almost like a Colosseum type scene because you've got all these people around the top of the wall, haven't you? And she's like walking through, and then it's the one part as well where them two guards roll up and they're like, no, you're not passing, and she's like, let me go, and they're like, no, you're not passing, and she's like, right, just says that samurai, kill them, and he just in two swings, mate, does two of them dead, mate. I was like, that's sick. That is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. However,
so when you get paid, kimono, and then learn that move,
and samurai sword
with a sword,
kimono samurai sword, done. And obviously it doesn't end too well because then this becomes like a bit of a full war. and all of her guys, most of her members of her team there, all the samurai, they get killed. She gets like that cool staff thing, starts trying to fend them off a little bit, and then she just gives up at the end. And then essentially, as much as that Achiba, I think her name's Achiba, you know, the girl,
Yeah.
isn't her son like the next heir or something like that? That's like the entire thing. As much as she's a bitch, you can still see she almost cares about Mariko after everything, and it's just another thing that this show's just done so well. It's just the writing in it is so well written, and obviously with their relationship, you do learn quite a lot about their background and like where they're from. They're brought up like sisters, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the emotion is conveyed as well through the characters, and you sort of do get that from them. And but they're so stressful, mate. This episode was like so stressful.
Like you're saying, that woman, the one with the hair, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, Achiba. I think it is Achiba. Yeah.
Awful character.
I hate her, mate.
That was on about earlier on the phone. Was like, I could easily chin her because she's such an
100%
annoying character.
Yeah, there's that entire scene where she's sent for Blackthorn, and then sent for Mariko as well to like translate. But she doesn't even want him. She just starts talking to her about stuff and that, and she's like, "No, I'm not doing it." And then she's basically saying, Mariko's like, "I'm just gonna kill myself. That's it. I'll just kill myself then." And then it gets to the point where she's like, "This was the stressful part." Mariko's basically like, she's going to kill herself, and then they come and give her permission to leave, and then she literally stops because obviously the entire reason was she was going to kill herself is because she couldn't fulfill her lord's duty, like the duty obviously like what she's been given to do. And yeah, you think, oh mate, there's a massive relief, isn't there? Like an absolute massive relief. Her and Blackthorn get back together, mate. They pillow, as they call it. They do a bit of pillowing, don't they? Top load.
Yeah.
And then they're woken up by some absolute mad assassin scene, like absolute mad shinobi assassins. Just there's loads of them, isn't there? One of them's got like this flail thing, smacks this guy in the gut. They like storming this obviously storming the building. They get to Blackthorn and Mariko. They both get a couple of frags. They get one each, mate. They had done a couple in, and then they're like, no, we've got to do it. Like Mariko's like, we've got to do it. We've got to go through. We've got to fight. Blah blah. And then you're thinking, oh mate, she's just literally done all this stuff, right? She's no longer killing herself. She's allowed to leave. She's got these assassins. She's got herself a nice cheeky kill. Blackthorn's done something. He's got himself a nice cheeky kill.
She's got a few people on here.
Yeah. Gets up, and she just blows up, mate. The ending is her blowing up.
Yeah, because all these like shinobis are like around. They obviously running, trying to escape, and they end up in this essentially like a shed, isn't it?
It's like a little room,
like a weapons shed kind of thing. They're trapped, and then the assassins put like, is it dynamite or like explosives
whatever
outside?
They would have had at the time, yeah, like.
And then obviously she's like, she knows there's no way out, so she puts herself against the door. Boom, gone, mate.
Done.
Well, she's no chance she's gonna be alive. Literally got obliterated, but
yeah, she's literally
very sad. Another good character gone.
Yeah, another one. It's like Game of Thrones all over again, mate.
But I can imagine the finale, which we'll discuss next week in next week's podcast.
Mate, I'm so looking forward to watching that. I'm gonna wait like a week to watch that. I'm gonna watch that like the day before we do the podcast or the weekend before, so I'm like fresh. Yeah. It's fresh in my mind.
And then it's gonna be so good, in it. Like obviously Toranaga's army is gonna attack the castle. Is it Crimson Sky or whatever?
Crimson Skies, yeah.
They're gonna drop that. I'm gonna drop a bomb on Ashida. So hopefully, and obviously with these shinobis coming in, you obviously know Ashida's behind this because it was forced to let Mariko go with all the people as well that he kept hostage. So he had to do something about it. So obviously they got these shinobis in to kill Mariko.
Yeah, Ishido's done it, and I'd be shocked if he's not behind it, but it's not looking good for him, is it? Yeah, it's not looking good for him, mate.
Because if it was anyone else,
there's no way just let her go. There's no way just let her go.
Because if it was anyone else, like the shinobis would have gone for Ishida, wouldn't they, as well?
Yeah.
But obviously, he's like left unharmed, and then obviously Mariko's been murdered, so we know he's behind it. Well, I think he's behind it.
It's got to be. It's the only explanation, I think. But we'll find out. And you guys will find out next week's episode.
Next week. I am looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch it tonight, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I think I'll be on it tomorrow, mate. But moving on to some gaming stuff, because when I've been watching this on episode 2, where there's that part where that woman's like walking through the halls, just slitting throats, and obviously the last episode that we've just been speaking about, where all the shinobi going around, it just gave off like massive like Tenchu energy, and like I really want them to make a new Tenchu game. What happened to him, mate? Like Tenchu Z on Xbox 360, it weren't even the best one, but I used to play that game all the time. I had all of the outfits unlocked. I had all of the achievements on it, mate. I used to love those classic like stealth games where you just start off in in like a little village or something. You had different objectives to get certain people or do a certain task, but they don't really make games like that anymore.
I think if they brought I think it's the wrong time if they were to make a Tenchu game. I think it's the wrong time at the moment because with that Japanese Assassin's Creed coming out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one of the characters I think in that is a shinobi. So I think it's the woman who's a shinobi, and then the guy's like a samurai. So I think you'll have your fill of
that
Tenchu memories.
So I was looking into and basically see what's happening, what's about. I did see that Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's made by the exact same people as Tenchu. However, that's more like a Dark Souls game. It's not the same sort of type of game. And there's another one called Aragami as well, which is very similar, but it just doesn't. I don't know why it just doesn't give off that same sort of feel, because you're almost like superhuman in a sense. I'm pretty sure you can like teleport and stuff like that in that one, like through shadows and stuff. Like you're a bit of an entity more than anything. I just want a classic ninja game, mate, where I can customize my outfit and stuff. Like I just want to make my own ninja.
And like customize all your weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be sick. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that Assassin's Creed as well.
So you've been telling me about another game you've been playing. What's that one? Tell us, please tell us.
So right, essentially, there's been I've had a little bit of a flashback recently from wrestling, mate. So I've been watching loads of like old school wrestling videos. Like I'm watching top 20 RKOs and like top like 10 Kane moments and stuff like that. All the old school wrestling videos, mate. So many
choke slam, best choke slams or whatever.
Yeah, some of them are so funny, mate. They're so funny. But mate, I've proper started loving it again, and I was talking to my wife about it because we used to like when we was younger, not together, but like you'd have been saying Mark, I bet as well, playing all these SmackDown games on PS2 and stuff.
Oh, I loved them,
mate. They're so good making your own characters and everything. So on the weekend, I bought WWE 2K23, mate. It was like £12 or something from Game, and we literally went on it. Me, my wife, and my son, and we was on it for hours, mate. Literally, I think every family conflict now is going to be resolved through fighting on wrestling, mate. Like, I think that is the way to resolve any conflicts within the home. And I'm not joking. We was on it till probably 11:30 at night, and then I was making a character until like 2 a.m, mate. Like making characters on it and stuff, and I've just proper got back into it. So like, yeah, I'm sort of getting into wrestling. My brother-in-law, he's mad on wrestling, and he's given me access to his WWE like pass thing on my Xbox, so I can watch all like the pay-per-view events and all like recent wrestling and stuff. And they've got loads of stuff on there. So yeah, if anyone's interested in wrestling and wants us to chat about wrestling, like, I'm more than happy to talk about wrestling, mate. Like,
I mean, we've talked about doing a top tier, which we'll be doing as a separate video.
Yeah, we're doing some tier lists on our YouTube, so keep an eye out for them and get subscribed to that now, ASAP.
But yeah, we're going to go through all the Attitude Era, all the classic wrestlers, The Rock, Steve Austin, all them, Triple H, obviously. But yeah, we're going to do a lot more of these tier lists as separate videos on our YouTube channel. So yeah, do follow and do subscribe because you're missing out on
get on there. We was going to put them in here, but obviously we don't want to bore people to death because it's probably going to take the way that me and Martin are, we'll probably be discussing consoles, for example, for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because, like, when we're going through the console list, we'll have so many memories unlocked from different games,
Oh,
from
yeah.
different consoles, and it'd be good, that one.
Yeah, it'll be a
So,
proper blast from the past type one as well. Um,
you don't want the wrestling. Go back to the wrestling game though. What I started doing on some of the wrestlings, I started trying to create like 30 characters, and then putting them all in a Royal Rumble. So you see them all
see
running
which
out.
one wins.
But I literally got to like 9 characters. I was like, oh, I'm bored of this. Just give
So
up
on
on it.
this one, there's a part on this one, and then if you go on the online section, you can go online and download characters that people have made.
Oh, okay.
Mate, I've downloaded Spider-Man, I've downloaded Deadpool, I've downloaded like Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy's like in a different wrestling night thing now, AEW or something.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
not part
Jeff
of
Jarrett.
WWE anymore.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's just been suspended for drugs again though or something. But you
Loves
can
it.
download Jeff Hardy, you can download Matt Hardy, Black Panther, downloaded Black Panther.
Oh,
My
okay.
wife downloaded Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, just like it's like it's just like a community like type thing. There's like there's like I think it's something ridiculous like 600,000 skins or something like you can download. No, there's not. Sorry, there's 60,000 pages of skins you can look for. So yeah, some people have made some dead stupid ones like Gengar, and it literally looks nothing like Gengar. It's like proper stupid.
It'd be like that character from Dragon's Dogma, innit? That Pikachu, innit? It
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
a bit like Pikachu. Just like
But
some
yeah,
freak of nature.
you can download them. So I've been downloading characters on that as well, just because it's some dead funny ones, mate. Some proper funny characters, like Donald Trump and stuff like that on it, mate.
Donald Trump fighting Michelle Gellar, Buffy vampires.
Just put Joe Biden and Donald Trump in the ring, mate. Fight to the death.
Ooh.
No rules fight, mate. Chairs and tables included. But
The TLC matches on them games. Oh,
table, ladder, chair,
I love that.
legendary, mate. Legendary.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the tier list, so that'll be good.
Yeah, they're fun. So yeah, keep an eye out and an ear out for those guys because they will be coming soon. We're gonna do like a bit of a shooting session and get probably like 3 or 4 of them done, and we'll start scattering them on YouTube and try and compiling some bit of a backlog of videos really. So you've got the podcast, but then you'll have a little bit more content from us. So yeah, some good stuff to come. Some good stuff to come for us, and yeah, we just hope you all enjoy it. And we hope you are enjoying it because we are.
Yeah, we're loving it. Yeah,
Yeah, loving it, man, loving it.
it's
We're taking
so
all
much
these notes
content
and
as well.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, just sitting down in it. I think I like the most from starting doing this is it started to make me take more notice of what's happening in shows and stuff like that. Like sometimes you can get a bit distracted on your phone, whereas now the only time I'm on my phone is when I'm taking notes. So like I'm proper locked in on shows, mate. Like I'm taking a lot more from them. I'm really enjoying them. So
I totally agree. Like when you're watching shows, you take more interest. You pick up on stuff.
yeah,
I mean, like an anime is like 23 minutes in it, but now
Yeah.
when I'm watching, it's like 45 minutes because I'm taking notes. I'm watching it. I'm thoroughly watching different parts. I'm picking bits out of it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the note taking side of things.
So, little sneak peek for next week. We'll be talking Kaiju Windbreaker again. Obviously, we'll be new episodes of those to watch. We'll be talking the last episode of Shogun and the entire series of Fallout, bar episode 1. We've already spoke about episode 1, so we'll probably do a little bit of a reflection on it. But the other 7 episodes, we're going to smash them all. So next time, you're going to get a lot of TV show content again in the form of that. So
we'll get some gaming in there as well. We'll
yeah, I've been watching. I've picked up another one called Re Monster or Re Monster, and it's essentially like a guy who he gets reincarnated as a goblin, and it looks quite funny. So I'll watch a few of them, see what it's like, and I might give it a little bit of a talk about if I think it's any good. But back on MHA as well. We're on season 4 of that now, and we'll probably just talk a little bit about that as well. I'll make a few notes of that. Not too much, not too in depth. our main concern, not concern, but our main objection or objective, sorry, of My Hero is just getting up to date. So we can get up to date, get onto the newest series, and obviously it's more relatable to talk about that because most people have already seen it. Let's be honest. It's like me starting to watch Naruto and then talking about it every week, and it's like, yeah, everyone's seen it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got long now. It's like the 4th of May, season 7 comes out. So
yeah,
we're gonna get.
We're not gonna get up to date in time, but it's
get close.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep smashing it. I'll keep smashing it. Got plenty of stuff to do. Once we're up to date with Fallout, we're going to be a little bit slack on the shows anyway. Up until probably when The Boys comes out, I think that's probably the next major TV show, isn't it, for us?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, with Fallout, hopefully we can smash it. If we don't, we'll just do it as far as we've got on it.
Yeah, there's only 7 episodes. I've watched like 8 episodes of Shogun in the last like 4 days or something. I think I should be all right.
He did well, yeah, he did well. But yeah, it's we've got loads of things to come. Loads of tier lists. We've got other ideas for videos, haven't we?
Yeah,
we've got the merchandise store, and we do recommend for anyone listening or watching to join the Discord because we're always talking about different stuff on there.
It's getting lively now. We've got like 6 people in there, so
it's a party now, isn't it?
We're always chatting there. There's always something. Sorry, my throat's gone dead. There's like just friendly chit chat, talking about memes. We've put a little bit together on the Deadpool Wolverine trailer. I'll put my thoughts in there on that, and just getting it. It's obviously Discord's just free. Most people have got it. It's just a little bit of a friendly platform to have a bit of a chat. There's memes in there. It's just where we're posting most of the links. It's just a good time. It's just a good time.
That Deadpool trailer. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate. What did I say, mate, on my rant? That this is going to flip the MCU back around, mate, and now we're on the way up. I'm telling you now, mate, we are on the way up for the MCU now.
I'm glad we did what we did, though. Like, on the yesterday, you were like ringing me up, like, yeah, we need to do a reaction video now, mate. Tonight.
We'll react to it today, and I uploaded it last night as well, like straight away.
But
I'll just get my notes up. I'll get my notes up now and have a quick chat about it.
But we're so glad we did it because today on Facebook I've seen nothing but
spoilers
and questions. I mean, the trailer it asks so many questions. Like it leaves you with so many questions, like wondering stuff. And there's so many stuff on social media saying, "Is it this? Is it that?" You know,
theories and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, like so. My notes I basically put. I love how the trailer opened, like the Wolverine game. The trailer to the Wolverine game opens very similar.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, the bartender, he says Wolverine's not welcome here or anywhere, which made me wonder if it's likely a different variation or a variant of Wolverine, and it's not the same one from the Fox and the Logan universe. So hopefully we get a bit more info filling in the gaps in the film for that. But one of my theories was, I think in one of the X-Men movies, he has to go and kill Jean or something like that. It was something like that. And I'm wondering if it's a timeline like that, but where he fails to do what he's supposed to do, and it has like a catastrophic effect, and everyone just dies. Because there's like a scene where he's in a white t-shirt and he's on his knees, and I wonder if that's like a graveyard type thing, and they're all like symbolization of all the dead X-Men and things like that. Most of it looks like it's taking place in the void from obviously like Loki and the end of time. There's the giant 20th century Fox monument that's broken and part buried, obviously a symbolization that Fox have gone now. It's obviously Disney. The Bold Woman, I'm assuming she'll be the main villain, but that's Cassandra Nova, and she's actually Professor X's sister. She's got like telepathy and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know too much about her from the comics.
She's got the same haircut as her brother as well, hasn't she?
Oh, same head, mate. And
same egg.
All I know is that her powers are actually, I believe they're slightly better than what Professor X's were. but I need to read up a little bit more and find out a bit more about her. Huge jacked man is one of the words I've put instead of Hugh Jackman, because he's absolutely ripped to shreds, mate. Bloke's 55 years old and he looks like that. Like, he looks so sick. The sleeveless yellow and blue suit looks so good. Obviously, in a lot of the promos, he's wearing a long sleeve shirt. And I know a lot of people were a bit hesitant about that because they wanted him to have the proper comic look. But on the trailer where he's got no sleeves, it looks like they've been ripped off. So I'm wondering if one part he's wearing it and then he rips the sleeves off or something. I think that would be a sick little scene, that one, if that's the case. Obviously, there's a big Ant-Man skull opening up. And in front of that skull, there's loads of people. Now, I don't know who all of them are, but I've noted down that one of them's, I believe one of them's Toad, and another one looks like Azazel, or whatever his name is, Azael.
Yeah.
The red guy with the red tail. I'm positive that's who he is. But I wasn't unsure on the others. I'm not sure who the other ones are. And obviously the portal they jump into is a Doc Strange portal. But doesn't necessarily mean it's Doctor Strange, because obviously we saw from No Way Home that Ned, if you've got that ring, and you know how to, like, and you have a bit of magic in you, you can open the portals. So it could be anyone. It could be a different variant of someone else. We don't know. It could even be a Scarlet Witch. We don't know. Like, it literally could be anyone, mate. And then, yeah, if that is the case, I'm wondering if that Doc Strange portal, if that's quite early on, maybe, and it brings them into the MCU, or is it at the end, and then they go through that portal, and that's like the last scene. It like teases you what's to come next in the MCU, because it might even tease the. I don't know. They could go through the portal, and then it could tease the Fantastic Four. I don't know. They could literally take them to where the Fantastic Four are, or because I think that's the next movie. And yeah, so very excited for this movie. Like, very excited for this movie, mate.
Like I say, it's gonna bring it back in it. It's gonna bring the MCU back to where it should be.
100%.
And two great characters in this film. Two of my favourite superheroes in the movies that have come out, and obviously growing up. X-Men. It's always about Wolverine for me.
Yeah,
he's such a sick character. I wonder if they'll actually put the helmet on in the film or not.
Oh,
like
mate.
a little.
I hope so.
I can imagine a scene like he's trying on different costumes, and then they put the helmet on from the comics. Yeah. Just like a little nod to the comics.
I'd love that, mate. I've seen a few people making it, and it looks so good, mate. It looks so good.
It'd be good if he wears it in one scene, but I don't know if he will or not. But
nah, I feel like the way that Hugh Jackman is, he'll probably put it on, and then like his version of Wolverine will get annoyed. And they're like, "I'm not wearing that." Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll do like a little bit of a fan service by letting him put it on, and then he'll just get it thrown away. I mean, obviously there'll be a scene where he gets a suit, because that part where Deadpool puts them swords in, and they're like adamantium katanas. So I'm assuming they go to like a place who makes like super suits, like Edna from Incredibles, mate. But yeah, that'll be it for this one, guys. As we said earlier, if you're enjoying it, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Spotify, but mainly join the Discord, get in the community, have a bit of a laugh with us, have a chat with us. We're always around, and yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
And we always want your other people's feedback, others like recommendations on anime, films, games, and we'll give our recommendations as well.
Yeah, of course.
But like I say, we're always around to chat about anything. So yeah, join us. It'd be great to.
Yeah, we might be talking about anime and TV shows that are relevant now, but obviously we've watched loads in the past. So jump in if you want recommendations, and just give us a shout. Let us know. But yeah, appreciate you all sticking around and tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.